Welcome to Poland Daily History with me, Nicholas Richardson. And in this series of programmes, we're going to continue our look at historical parallels. We have a war going on in neighbouring Ukraine, but we can draw on that, what's happening today, and see what historical parallels there are. And I'm delighted to have with me in the studio Adam Starzyński to discuss this with me. Adam, welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Well, overnight, at the time this is being recorded at least, the news that a dam in Ukraine has probably been damaged by Russian soldiers.
It certainly seems to be the case, as it was the Russian troops that were in control of the dam. The dam, as you mentioned, completely collapsed overnight. There are different versions to exactly what happened, whether it was through a detonation or simply through sabotage, because we have seen that the dam gates had been closed, at least most of them, over the past weeks. It has been raining quite a lot in the area as well, but there was no reason for the Russians to keep those dam gates closed. They could have opened many of them up, but instead, by keeping them closed, the water kept rising. It reached a record high level of 17.5 meters, and then there were reports of some of it starting to breach some of the dam walls. And as those people who specialize in dam constructions know, once water starts breaching a dam, it weakens the structure beneath due to the force of the overflowing water. So at some point during the night, it collapsed, and the water is currently flowing toward the Black Sea. It will pass through the city of Kherson along the Dnipro River. And as you mentioned, we're talking about historical parallels. So what are they in this case? Well, in 1941, when the German army launched Operation Barbarossa and invaded the Soviet Union, that happened during the summer, and it was a real blitz offensive initially. The Germans took hundreds and hundreds of kilometers. They managed to encircle Russian troops in large pockets, taking them captive. And finally, at the beginning of August, they were getting close to the massive Dnipro River, or the Dnieper, which is this historical river that crosses Ukraine and splits it more or less in two, left bank and right bank Ukraine. And this is when they took the decision to, that is the Soviets took the decision to blow up a dam, the Dnipro hydroelectric power plant by Zaporizhia, causing enormous destruction. The idea was naturally to widen the river as much as possible, to make it flood low-lying areas on both banks of the river, and making it impossible to cross for the German troops. However, in doing so, they were completely fine with sacrificing the lives both of the Ukrainians living in the area downstream from the dam, but also a lot of Red Army soldiers which were fleeing from the Germans and were busy trying to cross the river. There are different estimates of how many people were killed, as naturally during the war the Soviets had made no real attempt to find out. But according to estimates based on how many people lived downriver, the numbers are somewhere between 20,000 to 100,000 people. The repercussions of this repetition of history that happened this night are yet unknown, as the water is still flowing towards the Black Sea and has not reached it. But according to estimates, we are talking about from a couple of hundred of people to maybe even a couple of thousands that might lose their lives due to this man-made disaster. Naturally, a lot has changed since the Second World War. The people in these areas, they have access to the internet. It is quite certain that they will get some warning messages on WhatsApp, Telegram, or any other app that they are using, hopefully from relatives that have been busy either following social media or watching television themselves. What is a bit worrying is that the main areas that will get flooded after this event are on the left bank, Ukraine, meaning the area of the Dnipro River, which is currently under the control of the Russian army. So it is mainly on the Russian authorities, the Russian army, to try to evacuate people, warn people, and so on.
Adam, the clock in the corner of the room is winking at me, so I'm afraid we must pause there, but we'll pick it up next time. I've had to interrupt Adam almost in mid-sentence, but fear not. If you join us next time, as we hope you will, we'll continue the story here on Poland Daily History. In the meantime, thank you for watching.